Mercedes-AMG Interview Lounge.
Well, here we are. We're in the Zoom room with some friends of mine, Jamie and Jonathan from Pawsome University. They are the official trainers of Max and this guy I'm holding on my lap, little Ollie boy.
Hi, Ollie.
Hi,
everybody.
Jamie. Hi, Jonathan. How you guys doing?
Good. Thank you for having us on.
We're very excited.
They're so quiet. When they're here, they're like way loud, like loud, obnoxious Jersey people.
I've been on the radio before.
I know. No. Just pretend you're not on the radio. Look, because of the pandemic, a lot of people, almost everyone that I know has gone out and they got a dog. And it changed their world. Of course, I know it rocks your world. And I forgot what it's like having a new puppy. And when we got Ollie, it totally turned our world upside down and continues every day because he's only, like 5.5 months old. But I know as trainers, and by the way, these trainers they're fantastic as trainers and as friends.
Thank you so much.
So how's it going? How is training now different than it was a year ago?
Oh God. Well, I'm exhausted because everyone got a dog. So my schedule is just overflowing. It's insane. I'm like 3 weeks booked because there's just not enough time in the day. So different because it's mostly puppies or adopted dogs that are on the younger side. And basically they're dealing with separation anxiety, not being able to potty train properly, and everyone's home. So it's just a hot mess.
Yeah. Well, everyone's home now, and we're assuming and hoping, knock on wood, that one day they won't be home, but which is going to add to the separation anxiety.
Yes,
right?
That's the problem.
Yep, it's a change of the routine.
Well, see, while I have you here, by the way, off the clock, this is totally free. I don't have to pay for this. So Ollie, for instance, Ollie was doing really well in his pooing, and now his poo is getting a little wild. He's pooing everywhere now. And I'm assuming it's because I'm not restricting his area enough. I'm assuming he has way too much room to roam.
See, we've told you perfectly.
So
no, you know the problem.
Well, I know, but here's the thing, and a lot of people listening with pets, new pets or pets they've had, is working from home and training and keeping your pet happy and whatever. It's rough.
Yes,
it's really difficult. What is
it's another job.
It is a full-time job, and while the song is on, I'm upstairs either unloading a dishwasher or taking the dogs out for a poo or whatever. What is your advice for people who are working at home with their pets and trying to split time?
I think the biggest thing you want to do is avoid separation anxiety, because once that kind of gets hold of your pet, that's something that's going to take a lot of work to get rid of. So you want to definitely implement some things to avoid separation anxiety. Jay, do you want to touch on that?
So I would say kind of trying to make your day like you would be if you were at work. So treating it the same way that you would for your dog if you were gone all day. Most people are gone for 8 hours at least. So breaking up that day. If you have a dog walker, have them come walk the dog at noon, just like you would regularly if you were gone. Try to separate yourself from the dog. So I highly suggest crate training, because I think it's a really good option for the dog in terms of not getting separation anxiety, but also potty training, because they have to learn to hold their bladder, and most dogs don't want to go where they sleep. So making sure that your crate is the right size and kind of separating yourself from the dog so they understand what it's like to be alone, but also that it's okay to be alone. A lot of times when we get dogs in the beginning, we will absolutely spend so much time with them. And especially during the pandemic, that's what everybody was doing. They're like, oh, I have all this time to spend on this dog, which was great for training and trying to get them socialized in terms of your family. But then we started going back to work from home. So now we don't have all this time to just give them. And they're like, well, why aren't you paying attention to me? Now I'm going to go take the toilet paper from the bathroom and run it around the house because you're not paying attention.
Right.
So
and
things like that.
And they've had like the puppies that are coming in the home, they have no opportunity to build independence and confidence. And that's gonna reflect when you're not there to lead them and protect them, and then you're gonna have other issues surface.
Absolutely. So like John's saying, like if you actually never leave the house for 3 months and then all of a sudden you need to go somewhere, let's say something happens, you need to go, the dog's going to be like, wait, there must be something wrong. You never leave me. So this is a negative thing. So they freak out.
We are the leaders of their pack, by the way. We're the alphas. So if a dog strays from the pack, that dog feels like he's going to die, basically. So when you leave the house, the dog's like, I'm going to die.
Exactly.
Maybe in some cases.
They definitely feel really scared and very vulnerable. So they will freak out. And then it just gets worse from there.
This is Jamie and Jonathan. They are, of course, trainers for many of the best dogs in New Jersey, including my own Max and, of course, my terror, Ollie. I know I have Jasmine on the phone. Jasmine, of course, has something in common with one of my dear friends, Kim. They are ready for a new dog now. Right, Jasmine? You really want to do this?
Yes.
I'm going to talk you out of it. Are you sure? What's your question?
I really want a schnauzer, actually.
Oh, they're the best. I love them. So you have a question or a thought for Jamie and Jonathan? And I'm sure if you do, it will answer a lot of people's questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I've had cats my whole life, never dogs. But what do I need to know or do to prepare to get a dog?
I think the biggest thing is realizing what your lifestyle is like. So if you live in an apartment and you don't have a backyard, maybe not like the most energized, exercise needing dog is the best for you. So maybe a smaller dog that's theoretically a little bit more lazy. And really depending on your time, how much time you have to devote to the dog. I think it depends on that. But in terms of if you're rescuing, you can always go and meet the dog prior and kind of ask, what's the personality like? If it's a puppy, it's kind of going to be luck of the draw on that because they don't always divulge their complete personality when you meet them immediately. Sometimes a week later, you're like, wait, what did I just bring home to my house? I was duped. So it really depends on what your lifestyle is. But I think getting a crate, getting mental stimulation type treats, so long-lasting treats, marrow bones, Kongs, things that you can stuff to keep them busy, especially if you're working from home, you need to keep them like so busy in terms of not getting in trouble. We want positive attention, not negative attention. So just
Exactly.
proactive.
Yeah, yelling at your dog doesn't get anything done. I learned the hard way, but sometimes you do. You want to scream at them. You really want to pull your hair out and just because they do things that you're just like, no. You got to keep in mind that they are Martians. They don't speak English. They don't understand what we're saying.
Exactly. The more we talk, the more confused they get.
But, and Jamie and Jonathan, they really do encourage crate training. I know my friend Kim's asking, the thing is you feel like you put your little dog in a crate. You feel like it's bad. You feel like you're punishing this little dog and leaving it in this confined space all day. It actually is better for them. And so a lot of people believe that. And hey, thanks for your call, Jasmine.
They are descendants
Thank you.
of wolves. So
what's that again, Jonathan?
They are descendants of wolves. So they do like having a den. It's a safe place for them.
You gotta make it nice and comfy for them.
Right.
That's the key.
Yeah, so we recommend covering the crate with something like a blanket, something to keep it dark on all the sides except for the entrance, making it a real positive place. You could use like lavender scents in there or Adapto, which is a dog appeasing pheromone, which is what a pheromone that the moms would give off to calm them. So little things like that, you could really make it the den.
Should be like their room, like their nice place. There's a nice comfy bed.
Their dog cave. I could use some of those pheromones. I'd love that. Froggy, what's up?
So I have 2 dogs now. I had a dog that lived to be 14, and then we got our first Cocker Spaniel again this time. His name's Rocky, and he was the easiest dog in the world to train. He took to everything. He just wanted to get it right. He was a pleaser. So we got a second dog because we wanted him to be entertained when we weren't home. And we thought the second one was going to be just like the first one.
That's what everybody
and let me tell you, it could not have been further from the truth.
And I know I got lucky with the first one.
Right. Elvis is having the same issue. And I think that a lot of people think that the second one will be just as easy. And it's not. But our biggest issue with our boys is they don't like to get their feet wet in the grass. And so they will stand on the sidewalk and either pee or poo on the sidewalk, and they will not go in the grass. Is there any way to get them to go in the grass other than physically picking them up and sitting them in the grass?
Do they have allergies?
One does lick his paws a lot, and he's on an allergy shot, yes.
Okay, so it may be just the other one is following suit with the one that has the licking. Some dogs that understand, they've learned over time, if I go into the grass, I become itchy, so they actually don't go in the grass. So he may just be not wanting to do that because he knows he's going to get itchy later on, and then the other one's just like, hey, you're not doing it, I'm not going to do it.
No.
Yeah,
that could be a possibility.
I say throw him in the grass. Just go in the grass.
Only if it's wet, or if it's dry, it's okay?
It's only when it's wet. When it's dry, they have no issue. Now, if they see a bird or something out in the lawn, then they'll go chase it, no problem. They don't care if it's wet. I mean, it could be an ocean out there. They'll go after it. But it's just strange.
I would try, if this is something that's really important to you, I would try and treat them every single time they go to the bathroom only in the grass.
Okay.
They treat only for going in the grass.
Yeah.
If they go on concrete or anything else, they don't get anything.
You know,
And
this is such. This is what we're learning about dog training. You can train people too. Always have treats on you.
Yeah.
Right.
Always have. See, that's why I always try to have a pocket of dehydrated liver. Believe it or not, it works out that way.
Yummy.
Yeah, you know, it's getting a new dog is a lot of work, and so as Froggy was saying, as you know, we're experiencing the same thing with Ollie and Max. Max was the best dog ever. He was trained the moment he opened his eyes, it seemed,
Right.
and this one is just a friggin' mess.
Right. That's the same thing we've experienced.
It's wild. And then when if Ollie pees somewhere, then Max has to go over to it and pee on top of it because that's what they do. And so now we have twice the gallons of pee everywhere. I don't know. Hey, Gandhi, what's up?
Yes. Okay, so my sister just got a little puppy, so it's my half puppy. And I want to touch on something you said about they don't reveal their total personality at first. So she is the sweetest, most cuddly, like wants to be with humans all the time. They took her to a puppy class and she turned into Satan with other dogs. What is the reason for that and how do you fix it? Because she's too little to be acting that way, and if she gets bigger, it's going to be a problem.
How old is she?
She's probably right now about 14 weeks.
Okay, so she's a baby.
Yeah, baby.
She probably is just super, super scared. It's most likely fear-based reactivity. So lunging, barking, carrying on to keep everybody else away from her. She's learned that if I act this way, nobody will approach me. So it's basically a tactic to keep herself safe. But very similar to most of the things that how we train is using positive reinforcement and getting her socialized, but we don't want to do it too fast, too quickly. So we always say the 3 Ds: duration, distraction, and distance. So making sure all those 3 things are appropriate for your specific dog. So being in a puppy class, immersing her with like 8 dogs was like probably her worst nightmare. And they're super close. You're like in this enclosed space. And so she was like, oh my God, get me out of here. But if you went to like a park and maybe one dog was 50 yards away, she'd be a lot calmer. And during that time, you can, obviously she's really young, but you're going to work on your training. It all kind of comes together. It's not just a one-stop shop. You want to make sure they know the look command and the leave it. And so that they can look at you instead of the dog and get a treat. So every single time you see a dog, you get food from me, you get praise, you get love. It's not a bad thing. So they learn over time, this is a positive, not a negative. But if we are to yell or correct them or, pop their collar, make them sit and then yell no again, they're like, I'm so confused. I know how to sit. Why am I getting yelled at? And it's always around a dog or a stranger or a kid. So this can be used for any type of person or dog that if they're getting yelled at every single time that person is around, they're going to be like, okay, that thing sucks because I get yelled at every single time it's around.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
It's kind of all positive reinforcement when it comes to fixing reactivity.
When we spend our time with Jamie and Jonathan and the dogs, we learn so much. And you know what? And you know me, I have to take it like a step further. It's learning to empathize and learning to look at the world through their eyes, the dog's eyes. It really is a great lesson in also understanding people as well. It's just understanding why they may react and respond to the things we do to them. It's like, oh God, I guess I made that problem. I'm not fixing it. Anyway, tell everyone about your podcast.
So we call it the Podcast for Dog People. It's just Pawsome University, which is the same name as our training business. And we discuss everything dogs. We touch on dog training. We talk about fun facts, dog science,
food resources, what certain types of things that are going on, like allergies. How can you deal with allergies rather than going on medication? Just anything dog related.
We just did an episode on barking that went out on Wednesday. We upload twice a week. So
I need to listen to that.
There you go.
I'm going to listen to that one.
It's about 50 minutes and we dive into everything barking and
6 different types of barking and how to fix and realize which barking your dog has. And
yeah, we got a lot of that.
My one dog has this, I call it the explosion bark. He goes from 0 to 100 and it rattles the roof when he barks and it scares everybody in the house.
Really happen?
It's kind of interesting.
He sees somebody outside.
Okay, so
yeah.
That's
Max does
the
the same thing.
Normal type of barking.
They're doing what dogs do, and that's what they do. Sometimes it's irritating, but they do. There's no way to get to all these questions, but I just want to give you a taste of what people are asking. How do you get your dog to not eat the furniture when left out of the crate? We bought a new stove. Our dog freaks out when it beeps. My dog is super friendly to people and dogs until she hit puberty. Now she hates everyone. My dog owns the street outside and the sidewalk. Nobody can walk by the house without being attacked or being barked at. They go on and on and on.
My brain is firing off right now.
Yeah.
And when you say marrow bones, do you mean you want them chewing on smoked marrow bones or raw ones? Or
So I'll let John answer that one because that one's very specific.
Yeah, so we can cover that. If we can cover that real quick, we recommend either Paw Struck or Jack and Jill. You can find them right on Amazon, and they won't splinter like a regular bone would. They're almost like compressed into a mold, and then they're filled. And then once they eat the filling, you can stuff it with bananas, peanut butter.
They're the best
freeze
investment.
everything.
that sounds
The best
tasty.
investment because usually they come in a 3-pack and they're filled with stuff already, and it's not super easy for them to get it out, but if I needed to scoop it out, I could with a knife and then restuff with something that my dog likes, like banana, sweet potato, pumpkin, and refreeze it. Freeze everything and then give it to your dog, and they will enjoy it for up to 20 to 30 minutes and leave you alone.
See, that's the thing. You kind of wish Jamie and Jonathan they lived in the guest room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really fun because when they come over, we have cocktails and train the dogs. It's kind of fun.
It's the best part of my week.
Mine too. Hey, line 7 is Dawn, and I know Danielle has a question. We're going to get to you in a second, Danielle. But Dawn is talking about barking too. That's what they do. These stupid dogs. They keep barking. Or Dan. I'm sorry. Hi, Dan. How's it going?
Hello, lady.
Hello, lady. What's going on?
My big question is, you were just talking about the different types of barks. Whenever somebody walks past my house, my dog doesn't necessarily go into an aggressive bark, but he definitely ramps up the aggression, I would say. But I was wondering if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because the fight or flight, he fights until he's ready to fly. So,
So it definitely depends on. I would have to see like a video to really give you more information. But what we like to do is it really depends on what you want. If you want your dog to kind of be like the protector and kind of scare people away, sometimes that's necessary right now. But if you want that to kind of relax a little bit, just like I was saying before about Gandhi's sister's dog, is to positively reinforce, do that look command. Okay, look at me instead of barking outside. You kind of want to catch the bark before it happens. Mostly when the ears pop up, then you can know they're already like locked on something. Look at me. If they can detach, that's great. That means the threshold is not too close and it's not too intense. And then they can get that treat. Even if the dog doesn't look at you, I suggest getting that food in their mouth. That is like the best thing to tell the brain, okay, this is a positive. I'm still eating. I have a resource. So slowly but surely they'll be able to respond to you way better, calming them down and just getting them to talk back to you.
Right. And that's specifically for if it's like a fear-based alert barking. That method won't really work if your dog is very confident in being territorial. But if it's something where you believe that he's afraid and he's showing some fear and he wants whatever that is to go away, that's where you can counter condition using that technique.
Isn't that funny how there's sometimes we want them to bark, sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
So if only they could read our minds. Thank you very much, Dan. I appreciate it. By the way, you are listening to Jamie and Jonathan from Pawsome University. What's the name of the podcast again?
So it's just Pawsome University. And I like to say we sound best on iHeartRadio. You can find us on the iHeartRadio app, but wherever you can listen to podcasts. And you could just search Pawsome University. We'll be right there.
Thanks for kissing our iHeart ass. That was great. That was awesome. Pawsome University. What's your question, Danielle?
So I know a lot of women say that when they're pregnant and they have a dog, the dog is so protective of the belly. And then when the baby comes, the dog's so protective of the baby. I've always wondered why that is.
So most of the time it's from the hormones. Some dogs don't pick up on it. Some are very aloof and just, if they're more of an independent dog, they don't really pick up on it. But like Oakley, when I was pregnant last year, he was all over me, and he normally is. So he's like my dog. He's very much attached to me. So he was very much into everything that I was doing, very aware if I was stressed out or not feeling good. He was always by my side. So yeah, they pick up on the hormones for sure. And definitely like if you're stressing and stuff like that, they understand. And then obviously some dogs can understand the belly's getting bigger.
Oh,
yeah. All right. I was hoping we didn't have to go in this direction, but a quick answer from you. What happens when your dog insists on eating its own poo?
I wanted to make sure we touched on this because I think we've gone the whole day without talking about poop, which is very unlikely.
I know.
Well, not like us.
Yeah, what's up with that?
That's called coprophagia, which is where they eat their own poop. And I actually did a podcast, Small Bite, on that. We covered every possible reason why they would be. It's a lot of things. It could be a medical thing because they have a gap in their dietary needs. It could also be that they're bored. It's something that they found that they enjoy to do. Puppies do it through their normal exploration as they're coming of age. And then mothers, if they've already had puppies, they'll do it because it's like a housekeeping thing. When their puppies would go, they'd eat the poop to keep everything clean and limit the transmission of parasites.
Wow. So many answers there. I would say just get
Yes.
them away from the poop as fast as possible.
Exactly. You need to
Break the rhythm.
manage that situation by just not having the situation there for them to actually eat the poop. Clean it up.
Now, if the dog is watching us have sex, do they know we're having sex? No. The answer is no, probably, right?
I've never been asked that before.
I hope not.
He hopes not.
For me.
All right. So we should, because it's like we know that they don't know what we're doing, but you still don't want them watching. It's like eyeballs on you while you're doing it. It's like, unless you're into that kind of thing, or if you're into eating poop, I don't know. These are whole different questions. One more quick question from Katie, and then we've got to move. We were so late, but we're having fun with you guys. Hi, Katie, on 5 Scary.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I got on.
I'm glad you're here. Jamie and Jonathan are dying to hear what your question is. What is it, Katie?
Awesome. Sure. Yeah, I have a 6-month-old golden doodle named Ogie, and he is a major jumper, and it's meaning well, not aggressive in any way. He just jumps on everybody. Every time he sees anybody, anytime he sees me, the first thing he does is jump, and I'm having a really hard time getting him to stop, even luring him away with treats. He's just not interested. So I'm looking for some more strategy.
Yeah, strategy. Ogie is a jumper. What do we do to Ogie?
So what I like to do is start out with the wait command. So we basically get the treat to the floor without the dog moving. So they realize, okay, if I move, I don't get the treat any quicker. So I would also, if he's not interested in most dog treats that you're using, up the ante to maybe cheese, turkey. I like to stay away from chicken because I find a lot of dogs are allergic. Beef, steak, whatever you have, that's high value that they don't normally have. And you reserve this for this type of training. So they're like, okay, this is the goods. So when you work on the wait command, which we have tons of tutorials on our YouTube channel and on our podcast, we talk about it a lot, but having them sit and wait, and then you walk slowly back to your front door or wherever anybody comes through to your living space and touch the knob, and then come back to them if they're waiting. I don't use the stay command because I think that we kind of messed it up as humans. So I like to use the wait, which means hold on a second, you're going to get it. So once they can do that, then you can slowly start opening up the door with nobody there, and then start with people coming into the house and having them still wait. If they move or get up from their spot to go run to that person and jump, the person goes back outside and the door closes. So they learn over and over again, okay, if I don't keep it together, I never get my reward, which is usually the person on the other side of the door. So they learn over time to have patience, calm themselves down, and we just keep on doing this until they finally get it. You have to be so patient, and I need you to go into it with the idea of I can, like almost the aura of I can do this until I'm blue in the face. I have all day. If you get excited, and you're just going to get your dog excited. So try to stay as calm and monotone as possible.
Thanks, Katie. Everyone, check them out online. It's Pawsome University, Pawsome University, with Jamie, Jonathan. Tons of tutorials on there, all about their podcast. And thank you for your call, Katie. It's really funny when you said the word wait, Jamie. Ollie looked up because he's used to hearing you say it.
And my good boy.
Yeah, he's your good boy.
Love him.
Anyway, hey, we loved having time with you guys, and thank you so much, and we'll see you Sunday, hopefully. Oh, yeah, I think we have a surprise for you on Sunday when you come over.
Ooh.
Very nice.
I think you may have a third dog to train. I think Uncle Johnny may be here.
And I believe we're bringing Oakley to you. So we do a little
good. Then we have 4 dogs. All right, perfect. We love you guys. Thank you, Jamie and Jonathan.
Thanks
have a good day.
us.
Okay.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right. And look, you know what? Just because I make it sound like it is a terror to have a new puppy in the house, it truly is the beginning of an incredible life. I can't imagine a life without my two pups. It's
Don't let
great.
Elvis fool you. Ollie is a very good boy.
Yeah,
No.
when you're not looking. All right.
Wait, can we use them to train Scary?
Yeah, Scary.
Sure.
Scary, perfect. Scary, we can train him with
will
food.
work for treats.
Yeah.
We got to take a break. We'll be back after this.